This is the Fifth Estate Winning Headlines, your media police post. In this segment, we summarize some of the headlines that you might have missed this morning, and we take a look at the political pieces we call cartoons in this country. Today is the 6th of May 2020, and I am DM.
I'm Tom.
And I am JM. In case you missed the headlines this morning, here they are. In the Daily Nation, why virus hotspots face total lockdown.
Yes.
In the Standard, the man who loved Kiroshe Harris. And in the Star, how Isli Imam spread coronavirus. Let's begin with the Daily Nation.
Why virus hotspots face total lockdown. So the Nation is telling us that in just 4 days, and we also had this from the CS, the country has registered 124 confirmed cases with 45 new cases being announced in one single day. So they're making a speculation.
Highest yet?
Highest yet. So they're making a speculation that because of this rampant increase in cases, the government is going to institute stricter measures. And they are speculating that the government is probably going to lock down specific areas that have been identified as hotspots, like Isli. This comes very shortly after the government had actually de-escalated the restrictions. Of course, so as to not totally slow or slump the economy. But now it looks like those will maybe reversed. In fact, the Nation is saying that we should expect that this week, tomorrow or the day after, the president will come out and tell us what the new stricter measures are.
They're going to be, I think Kenya has done a really good job containing COVID-19 so far. Relative to, let's say, Tanzania, relative to even South Africa. But if we have the slippages of the kind that we are seeing in a space like Isli, then our cases will really skyrocket.
And that's what the Star is telling us, isn't it? About the super spreader in Isli.
In Isli, absolutely. But before I go to the Star, we've got a 3-part criteria that we use to judge the headlines. Are they topical or speculative, repetitive or groundbreaking, and finally thoughtful or just plain lazy? What do we think about the Daily Nation?
I think it is a useful headline.
Okay, fine. So in the Star, how Isli Imam spread coronavirus. So an Imam whose name has been withheld has been termed a super spreader in Isli. He spread COVID-19 until he died last month on the 16th of April. Despite his status, he still continued praying in mosques and visiting homes, we are told. And this is partly why CS Kagwe yesterday announced that 29 new cases alone in Nairobi are from Isli, all from Isli, which bringing the number to 63 in Isli. 63 cases now of COVID-19. And these results are coming out of the targeted testing that the government is doing. And hence why, as you said, DM, there might be further lockdowns within lockdowns.
You know, the multiplier effect. I mean, if you have 29 people who have tested positive in one place, imagine how many, assuming one household has 4 people, and those 4 people are interacting with others, friends, cousins, and name it. The multiplier effect is huge. It's crazy.
That's huge. It's huge.
So yes,
I think this is a contender for a winning headline. Finally, from the Star, we have a headline that is not so much a mouthful.
Let's see what 2M says about the Standard.
Let me tell you what. Let me tell you what the Standard says. It says the man who loved Kiroshe Harris. I was going to say Harris. Now this man is called Omar Lali Omar, and he's given his account of what transpired on the night this beautiful girl, Tekra Karanja, was found dead. I don't have a problem with this headline. I have a problem with how Kenyans have taken to this man. You know, they're sort of setting rules that this is the kind of man you should marry. Look at this picture. These are people who are in love. You know, these are people who love each other. Now, for you to sit down on your computer and your phone to tell us who should marry who should be with who, is total nonsense. I think we should just keep away from people's lives. Don't judge. If people want to live a life away from home, that is their choice.
I think it's a human problem that we have. 2M. We put perhaps wealthy or successful people or leaders on a kind of pedestal, and we see their lives unfolding like a show for ourselves. That is why the British monarchy is so successful and their personal lives are so intriguing. When a princess decides to marry a pauper, then the population gets mad. You're ruining our story, because they want to see that happily ever after.
Absolutely.
Which is, I think, a very flawed expectation, because these people are human beings.
Precisely.
And they are sovereign, autonomous people who,
have chosen their path.
Have their own agency in their lives. So
absolutely. But anyway,
okay, so that's
personally, I don't agree with the standard for blasting these things on the headline.
The good thing is they've given an alternative story. When you read the story here, it doesn't. Yes, I think they have the understanding that someone is grieving, someone has lost their daughter, but also at the same time,
wasn't she just buried yesterday or something?
I think she was buried yesterday. But also at the same time, the story sort of tells Kenyans, please stop judging this. The man.
They just want to sell their newspaper.
But they have. I think they have cleansed the image that Kenyans have
of the man.
Of the man. This man looks like an honest man who. Anyway, let me stop there.
My grandmother used to say, rich people will always be talked about. But if you're a commoner, no one cares. No one cares about your stories.
No one wants to know who you choose as your partner.
But if you're a rich person, we want to know everything about you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is what's happening in this case.
Yeah.
What I thought would be so what do we give the winning headline to?
If I'll
the Star.
I'll give it the Star.
Let's give it the Star.
Yeah.
Before we move on to cartoons, what I thought actually would be a headline topic today would be the story about the 7 senior military officers who have been seconded to the Nairobi Metropolitan Services. This has been gaining traction on social media in the last 2 days. It might be a headline tomorrow, who knows? But thoughts?
No, you know what, JM, the president has this liking for the military. And you know why? It's because they have delivered every time he has brought them in. Look at the Blue Economy, for example. He asked Mothefe to chair the Blue Economy Task Force, set up a Coast Guard, and he does it in no time. And then there's this thing for geospatial mapping of this country's resources, natural wealth. The military goes, takes up planes in the sky, takes pictures of Kenya's undergrowth, Kenya's undersea. And little by little, we have an entire report of what is underneath our
that was about 2 years ago now.
That's about 2 years ago. These guys have delivered for the president. And they're professional and they are timely and they're very effective.
Deliver on time. No monkey business. No cheap politics of Governor Sonko.
Now if you have fellows at City Hall and their work is to eat and leave rubbish on the side of roads, if you look at some places in Eastlands, they look so mucky, then you need someone who will call people to order. Absolutely.
So
and then hand back over to civilians who hopefully will maintain that order, that discipline.
Good luck if that happens.
So what you're saying to him and Jem is that his motivation is efficiency. He wants the military
purely
precision
efficiency
in the execution of Nairobi affairs.
On paper.
Especially after the kind of governor that Nairobi has.
On paper.
I would say there would also be political motivation.
Absolutely.
If you look at
absolutely.
When people like Museveni and Putin change the leadership configuration of the military, something is about to happen.
Yes.
Okay, we'll discuss that, I suppose, a little bit more in the post of the week. Onto the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country. We've got a 3-part criteria that we use to assess the cartoons. Are they humorous or dry, satirical, pessimistic, violently effective, or just plain lazy? Let me begin with the Star. In the Star, we have a caricature of Uhuru Kenyatta in a tank, Nairobi Metropolitan Services tank, stretching out a hand through that barrel, and you've got Governor Sonko looking the other way and looking back at Uhuru Kenyatta. With deep suspicion. Obviously, this is about the takeover functions. And the caption says, "We can do this the easy way or the hard way." Sonko right now seems to be having the upper hand. I've said, technically speaking, as long as he's still governor, he'll still need to append his signature on quite a number of things. Handover of, let's say, staff. even money, resources, that kind of thing. And he hasn't been cooperating 100%.
Absolutely.
So the MCA said maybe we might now decide to impeach you once and for all.
Absolutely. If he's a stumbling block, then...
and that's what this cartoon is referring to. Yeah.
Absolutely.
What do we have in The Nation?
In the Daily Nation, we have a really nice caricature of Orengo. And in the first picture, he's on a pulpit and he's having a drink of water, or he's serving himself a glass of water. And he's saying the government at some point will eat its own. So he's preaching that. But on the next montage, he's there with a bottle of wine and a glass of wine that he's just bringing to his lips. And right next to him, looking at him judgmentally, is Ledama Olekina.
Yes.
His fellow senator, who was recently appointed chairperson of the Senate County Public and Accounts Investment Committee.
Yeah, that's correct.
But then Orengo wrote a letter seeking to reverse that appointment. So, and this is the same Orengo who was preaching a few years ago, saying the government will eat its own. No, he said a revolution eats its own children.
And the government eats its own people. He said that on the 5th of January 2017.
So now he wants to eat Ledama.
Interesting cartoon.
This is an interesting cartoon. I like it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And what do we have in the Standard?
Gado, this is I think, my best cartoon. And you have caricature of Uhuru Kenyatta, the prince. And he's a top Kanjo, an earth mover. And next to him is General Badi, the Director General of the Nairobi Metropolitan Services. Also on top of it is a rat in the caricature of Mike Sonko, and he's sleeping there on a pillow. And next to it is the frog that is a chameleon and a frog at the same time. It's called the NLC, National Land Commission. And also on top of it are military soldiers, and they are clearing Kariobangi. I think this has to do with the evictions that have been happening this week. Look,
in drawing Sonko as a rat, Gado is saying that Sonko is comfortable in that mark. He's in the dirt.
Absolutely. But you know what, people? I think what Gado is telling us as well, it's a mixture. One that these guys are ruthless. They even have the temerity to evict people, squatters who are living in the land right now during Corona times. But as well, what they're also telling us is Uhuru has decided to take on the mediocrity we are seeing. And the mediocrity is a slack, It's the way the Nairobi County government has been doing its job. All the dirt that is in Nairobi, I think, needs to be cleaned up.
Taking on the mediocrity is great and well and good, but as you mentioned, I think the timing is awful.
It's poor. It's off.
Yeah, and
could have waited another 6 months.
And people in Kariobangi already, even before the pandemic, were disenfranchised. But now with the pandemic, I'm sure a lot of people in Kariobangi have, like everybody else, have experienced diminishing incomes or low wages. The economy is slumping, and then on top of that, they find themselves without a place to live. It's
JM, what does the Machiavelli in The Prince say? He says, good leaders should do all the bad things all at
once, and the good things only slowly.
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't say the prince should do terrible things.
I mean,
this one is below the level of bad.
These are boxes that I'm sure the county government has been wanting to tick off.
Absolutely.
In terms of reclaiming territory, reclaiming land and what have you.
Absolutely.
But as we said, timing is off.
Yes.
And what Uhuru should do, perhaps to save face, is to come out and distance himself completely from this kind of decision.
And say that he is shocked.
And by the way, most probably, if you knew the inner workings of government, you would probably find out that it was just a bureaucrat. It was a director sitting at Nairobi City County Government.
Absolutely.
Who is authorized to do this.
Yeah.
And but he has gone ahead to do it.
JM, you always tell us people do not blame the person responsible, they blame the person in charge.
Absolutely. That's it. And that is how Kenyans have reacted, and that is why he should come out and save face. All right.
Having said that cartoon is brilliant. As usual,
it's brilliant. I think we give it
increasingly a Gado fan.
Winning cartoon. What do you think?
Absolutely.
And so, what is our final thought?
And now our final thought. It is inspired by a book entitled "Suspicious Minds: Why We Believe Conspiracy Theories" by Rob Brotherton.
Indeed, he wrote this book in 2015, and he tells us everyone is prone to conspiracy theories for two reasons. One, because there's so many unanswered questions in the world, and two, because it's just our natural instinct to do so.
Right.
So we've all heard conspiracy theories, or even told people conspiracy theories, or even generated conspiracy theories ourselves. Now, he says that conspiracy theories can be fun and interesting to participate in, but they can also be extremely harmful and cause millions of deaths. Case in point, in the Middle Ages, some conspiracy theories blamed the Jews for the spread of the bubonic plague, or the Black Death as it was also known, where 60% of the European population perished because of it between 1346 and 1353. Now, survivors sought a scapegoat, and unfortunately it was the Jews. And since the Jews were already forced to wear yellow cloth to identify them, they were very easy targets, and a lot of them got brutally killed, burnt alive. So centuries later, in the 19th century, another conspiracy theory emerged, still targeting the Jews. It was called the Elders of Zion theory. And this theory suggested that a small group of Jewish old men were sitting somewhere planning to take over the world. And because of this, there was sparking wars. So, as a result of this, the German Jewish politician Walter RUTO was assassinated. But also, even worse, Hitler himself, in his book Mein Kampf, said that it was part of the rationale for his exterminating or attempting to exterminate the Jews in Germany was actually motivated by the Elders of Zion theory.
That's right.
What does this remind you of, guys? We are living at a time of conspiracy theories right now.
With COVID.
Africans in China. I'm sure there are many Chinese people that have bought into this conspiracy that does not make sense, that it is Africans who are not only bringing the virus but spreading it. And Africans getting victimized as a result of that. So yes, conspiracy theories can be extremely harmful.
Absolutely.
Now, Brother Tom gives us a history, a historical account of how conspiracy theories have evolved over time. And I think they date even before the Roman civilization. But what he does talk about in the book is the Roman civilization. And so he says the history of conspiracy theories is not so recent. And the author traces this phenomenon to the Roman Empire. People did not believe the official events, official version of events in the year 64 AD, when a huge fire destroyed 2/3 of Rome. And the theorists asserted that Emperor Nero had planned it all.
This is like the 9/11 conspiracy theory that George Bush planned it all.
Absolutely. George Bush and Dick Cheney planned all of that. And he fasts forward to the year 1700s. And he says one persistent conspiracy theory that has thrived since the 1700s is that of the Illuminati. The conspiracy began when a small secret society who called themselves Illuminati gained notoriety throughout Europe. They were founded in Bavaria, today known as a region in Germany, in the year 1776. It was founded by a philosopher by the name Adam Weishaupt. And members were sworn to complete secrecy, a practice that inspired many conspiracy theories. Rumors then started circulating that they're doing devil worshipping.
The root of all evil.
And precisely the root of all evil. And it was said that the Illuminati at that time were the puppet masters of world events, and that precipitated the French Revolution a few years later after their founding. But before long, the group was disbanded and its members were hunted down and they were prosecuted in those days, because you can imagine those days were far less tolerant to secret societies. So in reality, the Illuminati was destroyed before it actually became powerful enough to influence anything. But it hasn't stopped conspiracy theorists to date still talking about Illuminati and how much power they wield in the world.
Oh my God. Now, this Brotherton man, he speaks of a concept and he calls it proportional bias. And this concept is defined as, this is our innate tendency to assume that big events have big causes. And this tendency is what leads us to believe in conspiracy
that nothing
theories.
happens for no reason.
Absolutely. And he delves into the JFK, John F. Kennedy assassination. And he says, over the years, 82 people have been said to have been, by conspiracy theorists, to have killed John F. Kennedy. In fact, he says that that over 2,000 of Americans actually believe that JFK was taken out either by the CIA, he was taken out by the mafia, he was taken out by the Soviets. But what they actually fail to understand is that there is an overwhelming basket of evidence that touches on a man called Lee Harvey Oswald. Now, this guy was a disillusioned soldier who one time showed up at a KGB, place and started saying he wants to be a communist, and he actually wanted to become a Russian citizen. But there was plenty of evidence that actually pinned down this man at the scene of crime. First, he worked at the Texas book depository where his sniper rifle was found, and 3 empty casings of bullets were actually found. And even where he worked, he did not attend work that day, and he also killed a cop who was trying to look for someone who had his his picture, and he killed him on that material day. So every single piece pointed to Harvey Oswald, and not to the CIA, to Oswald.
That's the CIA story.
To Oswald. And his thesis right here is human beings choose to go for a bigger picture, and yet, well, all the evidence points to this to the small thing happening to cause the assassination. Human beings just don't follow that reasoning. And
I'm one of those human beings.
Yes. and he can explain it here in a phrase that I want to read. He says there's a fundamental quirk of how our minds work. We are guided by a mental shortcut called the proportionality bias. We want the magnitude of an event to match the magnitude of whatever caused it. Sometimes one small twist of circumstances can change the course of our lives. Now, I want to ground this. You see, I keep hearing this phrase, the devil is a liar, and something small happens, someone says the devil is a liar, but we don't realize we're giving the devil too much credit. You see, for example, if you have an interview somewhere in town today and you get into a small accident, you will say, oh, the devil didn't want me to get that job. But maybe you got the accident because maybe
you were texting your friend to say I'm going for an interview.
You're on your phone, you are talking to your boyfriend, you probably,
your mind was not alert,
your brake pads were not working, maybe that's why you hit someone. But we attribute, we have this power of attribution and say, oh, because this big thing has happened, there must have been a big catalyst to cause it. But in essence, something so small could have caused it.
It's not always the case.
Yes, the author is saying it's our basic instinct. In fact, leaders, men and women who are leaders, are not allowed to die until they are 100. If they die before then, then our mind goes on conspiracy theory mode.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Wonderful. So on a day when we had a winning headline from the Daily, from the Daily Nation? The Star, and a winning cartoon from the Standard. I will ask you to not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are also on your TV screens. Find us on Pan Free to Air, Go TV, and Star Times. Have a good evening. Yes.